We had an interesting debate yesterday. And again, you guys are a national show. You cover every kind of corner of the league. And I'm intrigued to get your take on this one. Mattias Ekholm, we got a great inbox question over the weekend. I threw it to Louis DeBrusque yesterday as well. But it was like, okay, is Mattias Ekholm a guy that doesn't get enough love for what he does? Like, he'll never win the Norris because the scoring's never there and he's not, elite in every facet of the game. But you look at what he does on this Oilers blue line, the fact he does put up a decent amount of offense. He's so responsible defensively. Where would you put him in your rankings of NHL defensemen? Is he top 15? Is he top 20? Is he top 30? Where do you come out on him?
I would definitely say top 20, and I would say maybe one of the top 10 underrated players in the NHL, which is crazy because the Oilers get so much attention, but the Oilers get so much attention because of two players, and then a third that is discussed in Stu Skinner as to like, hey, what is Stu Skinner? Is he good? Is he bad or whatever? And Bouchard gets a lot of love, but Pete and I say all the time, make no mistake, I'm sure you agree, the number one defenseman on the Oilers is Mattias Ekholm. And my fear long-term with the Oilers is how are you going to replace Mattias Ekholm? I'm a Bouchard guy to an extent, which is to say I love Evan Bouchard. Defensively, I want more out of him. I'm not going to expand on that because that ends up being a pain in the ass conversation. But I think most of us can agree there are moments where we want Evan Bouchard to be a little more sound, but it's a sacrifice you make when you get one of the true elite offensive players at any position in the NHL. That's what Evan Bouchard is. You need to have a great overall defenseman on your top pair if you really like with that guy, if you want to be the cup contender that the Oilers are. So my long-term fear with the Oilers has always been, how are they going to one day replace Mattias Ekholm? So yes, I mean, I hold Ekholm in the highest of high regards.
And to be fair, that process of eventually replacing Mattias Ekholm probably starts at this deadline. And I think it's probably why we see the Oilers in the next 6 to 8 weeks here start to get linked to some guys who have term on their deal. Like, I do think they need to be thinking, okay, Mattias Ekholm is 34 years old. He is not getting any younger. He's aging really, really well. This isn't even to say that next year or even the year after we're gonna see some sort of like crazy sharp decline in Mattias Ekholm's game. But the Oilers do need to think about down the road a little bit. Maybe at this deadline you don't go after and I mean, I don't even like the name David Savard. I don't think he could help you win this year, but maybe you look at Keandre Millers and guys who are in that younger demographic who you can sit there and go, okay, as Ekholm maybe trends down, the guy we're bringing in is trending up.
I mean, I saw the trade candidates that you flashed up there. Shout out the Buffalo Sabres because it was just the Buffalo Sabres organization. I don't know how this could happen, but if I'm Edmonton, like, I don't know what it would take to get this guy, Bo Byram. Get me that guy because that's a guy who I think could eventually long-term be a number one defenseman. Sean, you'll know better than me as I continue to talk to people off mic. This is a guy that potentially a reason he could want out of Buffalo is that he wants to be a number one guy.
That's what the report said. And I mean, I heard you guys mention that you might not have the assets to acquire a guy like Bo Byram, but I'm not sure. I don't know how much leverage Buffalo actually has in the situation, if that's the truth. So it might not cost quite as much as you would think.
And we'll take him.
Yeah, I mean, part of the issue is Edmonton's number one prospect is now Matt Savoy, who Buffalo clearly didn't want.
Yeah, fair. How is he doing, by the way? Do you know?
Awesome.
He's getting hot. He's been really good the last kind of like 10 games down in Baco. I don't think he gets called up this year, but again, the Oilers desperately needed some sort of prospects in their system, and Savoy gives them that, at least something to look forward to, because things are bleak. And that's part of the problem, I guess, too, is like they have one first-round pick in the next 2 drafts. So I think they have 1 second-rounder. Do you get Bo Byram for just those picks? I don't know. And then are you confident you can sign him? Because what's Bo Byram going to cost this summer as an RFA? Couple that with what you have to pay Bouchard, and it's like, are you going to pay those two guys like a combined? We could be talking 16 mil for those two combined.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a drug guy, but I'm going to need to be on some dose of something that just keeps me mostly out of it for whatever the Evan Bouchard contract negotiation is. Like, wake me up when that's done and just tell me what the number is. I'm probably going to make a face because it sounds like I don't like Evan Bouchard. But at some point, all these things are going to add up. And I'm worried about what long-term this defense will look like. Shout out Ty Emberson coming around. Shout out Brett Kulak. Really, like the defense for the Oilers has been, they've gotten it together very well, I will say. So I'll take that. But long-term, I do want that number one all-around type player. So find a way of getting that guy without allocating all your money to 4 people. I'm sure the chat's roasting me because I've taken Bouchard's name in vain.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.